Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. We're coming to you from the North Ward Center in Newark, New Jersey. It is my pleasure to introduce Michele Adubato, Chief Executive Officer here at the North Ward Center, my younger sister by
many years.
So why don't we do this? Let's talk autism, but we're also here to do a series, a forum on urban education, the future of urban education. But since my sister Michele has dedicated much of her life not only to this city as a principal of a school that deals with a whole range of challenging issues, but to autism. What is autism and why do you care so much?
Well, autism is a neurological disorder that affects almost every aspect of life, including speech and language and social skills. And it's just and it's also across the spectrum. And when you said that I dedicated my life to autism, I think the people who dedicate their lives are the parents.
What do they face?
Find out.
What do they face?
They face something that is probably one of the most, it has to be the scariest thing for a parent, that your child is born and he's beautiful and everything's okay. And then about 18 months, maybe something changes. As a parent, it's the scariest thing in the world. You know, that being said, you know, I've spoken to hundreds of parents, and we want to advocate for autism, but we have to be realistic in how that affects a family.
What do you mean? Break it down.
It affects the entire family. Autism is not just about a person. It's about the mom, the dad, the siblings. And it also affects how the community deals and works with autism and people with autism.
How do we do right now? How are we doing?
We don't do well. We don't do well with differences. And you and I have spoken about this. Like we see somebody different and we automatically put our defenses up. And I think that, you know, when we talk about what it means to have a child with autism, I think about leveling the playing field. So it's hard enough because, again, it's lifelong. And of course, there's many things that can be done that could create a situation where—
it's not a cure.
There's no cure for autism because autism is who a person is. And what I mean by that is, because I've known several, 100 individuals, they're individuals. They're different. And they're different in ways that are not the stereotypical ways that we hear. But then I think about the families in Newark, New Jersey, because that's who I deal with.
Right.
And my whole mission has been to level the playing field because it's not level.
Define level.
Well, again, wherever we live, and again, the zip code, the idea of the zip code should not define services. And when you have a child with autism, there are a plethora of services that are needed right in the beginning. Because if you do that, there's research that tells us that there's certain things that could be offset, there's certain things that will be modified, and there's many things that that could work. Early intervention, speech and language skills. And here's the thing. In the Newarks of our state
and nation,
a child in the urban setting is not diagnosed probably till about 7 or 8 years old.
Too late?
Way too late.
But why is that? Why would it be diagnosed later in an urban community? Because
there's a school system here, and there has to be a certain level of understanding of what it is. And it's about going back to the pediatricians. It's about having a child that looks a little different. Maybe you can't figure it out in the beginning, and the doctor says, wait. The doctor says, wait. And parents in our urban environment sometimes, again, do not have all the tools that they need. They know instinctually something's going on, but they listen to the, quote, experts. And a lot of time those experts have no business, because you don't wait when you have autism.
You have to be proactive.
You have to hit early and hit often.
You know, the Center for Autism has been something you've created that you care deeply about. Explain what it is and why it tries to deal with the issues you're talking about.
Right. So again, the Center for Autism came about many hundreds of parents, talking to me. Michele, yes, we ran a school and I was
Describe the school you were a principal of.
So the school is my heart, New Jersey Regional Day School. It's where I learned so much about humanity, about education, about creativity.
Were the children, quote unquote, different?
They sure were different, but I think we're all a little different. And what I learned there is about strength-based. So instead of focusing on deficits, let's focus on strength.
What does that have to do with the Center for Autism?
It has everything, because that's our motto, that's our mission. So we focus on strength. We don't do what we did here at the Center for Autism was create an adult day program. There were none. There were none in Newark.
What do you mean by
so
that?
our children would graduate. So your child graduates and they go off to college or they go off to a vocational career or something. So what happens to the child 21 who graduates from a New Jersey regional day school and many other schools? What's their future look like? Dim.
And
How can that as a parent and as a child, how can it?
Sorry for interrupting. The Center for Autism does what for them?
So what we did was we developed an adult day program, really from an educational standpoint. So what we're really doing at the Center for Autism is extending their educational awareness and understanding, but also it's a community-based program. They're out in the community almost every day doing things that are purposeful, that are meaningful. We teach social skills. We have activities of daily living. We have a simulated apartment. So these are the realistic things that adults need when they leave school.
And the time we have left, this is highly, highly personal for you.
Sure is. Sure is. Yeah.
And is there an autism community or community committed to those dealing with autism and their families? Is there such an entity?
We know who we are. We know who each other are. I could meet someone on the street and they said, you know, Michele, I know who you are. And by the way, I think your brother's really cute. But also,
These would be very insightful people.
but also, I know what you've done for my kid.
Right.
And thank you. So we know each other in ways that I think other people don't.
Yeah, let me ask you, before I let you out of here, new governor in New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy.
Yeah.
What's your message to him as it relates to the autism community?
My message to Governor-elect Murphy
As we tape it, he is governor-elect. When this airs, he will, in fact, be the governor.
is listen to this community. Continue to advocate for centered-based work, for person-centered services. Continue to fight for the services that are needed, especially in our urban area.
I am proud of my younger sister, who continues to do great things for folks who are often forgotten by others. Thank you, Michele.
Thank you.
Well done.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Valley National Bank, Caldwell University, New Jersey Sharing Network, Adler Aphasia Center, the New Jersey Office of the Insurance Fraud Prosecutor, and by Kessler Foundation. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.